What's up, everyone? Now, Bret Hart, he is never shy about his opinions, and he is always so positive about wrestling, and he's a ray of sunshine. Now, I don't remember the last time I heard about Bret Hart saying something, but he had a doozy now with his latest one. Now, let me get into it. It's a long one, so bear with me. Quote. I saw something just a few days ago in a wrestling match where all the girls were lying in the middle of the ring together. They were doing the big belly flops and all of them. And you think they would get away from that kind of phony rehearsal stuff, kind of wrestling? Who wants to watch that? I don't want to watch that. I know my kids don't want to watch that. Quote. He goes on to say, I find a lot of wrestlers today are like, when they land where they land, they realize 30 seconds later that they're in the wrong spot and they start wiggling all the way across the ring to get in the right position. That's a fail. You get an F in my wrestling academy when you do stuff like that. And when these guys dive all over the top rope onto 20 wrestlers on the floor, they just gotta stop doing that. It's just not real. Yeah, I agree with that. That stuff's phony. I mean, that stuff's been going on since like the Money in the Bank match and shit. He goes on, and with the chops, and everybody chopping themselves, what a bunch of baloney. Nobody ever won a match with a chop. All the wooing, it's really taking away from the beauty and the art of great wrestling. Yeah, Bret Hart's always had a hard-on with Ric Flair. A little bit, if you watch his old shit interviews. But he goes on, there's a lot of great wrestlers out there and they can deliver great matches, but there's so many wrestlers out there that are subpar, in my opinion, that don't know what they're doing out there, and they allow themselves to rely on things like chops, which I think is sort of like a cheap heat. You get a reaction, but what's your reaction? You're whipping a guy across the chest with your hand? Okay, so you're hurting some guy for real, for some stupid reason, and the crowd sort of reacts to it. He keeps going on. In my understanding of pro wrestling, anytime anyone does anything to you that hurts, for real, chopping, putting blisters on your chest, when you go to your room or bed, anytime anyone does things to you for real, they're in the wrong business. They're doing it wrong because you're not supposed to get hurt. You're not supposed to come back to your dressing room that night or your hotel room and have a big lump on your head and a black eye and your teeth are knocked out. That's Bill Goldberg wrestling. That's not how it's done. Attaboy, Bret. You gotta add that, Bret Hart, or that, Goldberg, a little cheap shot. 25 years later, still won't let it go. And I love Bret, but God, some things he does need to let go. But, you know what? A lot of things that he did say I agree with, and he's right. Like the whole chopping, I mean, you know what? Chopping, I don't have a problem with that. It's just a fucking move. But the whole diving across, or diving on a pile of people, I've always thought that's phony. And my dad always, my dad was never a wrestling fan. Anytime he saw that, he'd make fun of that. And yeah, I mean, that's the problem with pro wrestling. It's just phony. And, I mean, obviously it's phony, but whenever we blurred the lines and made things more realistic, that's when wrestling always was on the up and up and always in a positive direction. But I agree with Bret Hart overall. A lot of these guys out here, they're just marks and they don't know what the fuck they're doing. I totally agree. But please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think down below. Is Bret Hart bitter or is he telling the truth? Let me know down below. I'm out.